Hi, this is Casey from KC Grandpa Tech, where we talk about tech, fun stuff, and much, much more. It's been a wonderful week of space, and quite a few events are coming up. You have what happened with SN9 when it's launched. SN10 is on the launch pad. You have all these different spacecrafts that are arriving at Mars. One of them is the Hope. Then the Chinese, I'm going to mispronounce this, Chang, and the Perseverance. So let's get into that right now. So the first event, of course, that happened last week was SN9. They eventually got clearance by the FAA, did launch it, it did do its belly flop, but unfortunately, as Elon Musk calls it, we're getting a little problem with pulling up. That's going to lead to an investigation by the FAA. We're going to want to know what went wrong, why two engines didn't launch. Let's look at that event right now.
Terrain, pull up. Terrain, pull up, pull up. Terrain, pull up, pull up.
So as you know, SN10 is on the launch pad right now, and it'll be on a hold pattern right now because the FAA has to complete its investigation of the failure of the SN9 crash and burn with the second engine failure. They did do a successful cryo test, and that's successful. Only one more step as we get closer to Mars. That is exciting, and thank you, BOCACHICAGAL. I got this picture from your website. Let's continue on. Now, as you may know, the Hope probe which was launched by the Mars mission, the Immigrants Mars mission program, that put a satellite around Mars that will study the atmospheric conditions. It arrived at Mars, and it had that long burn where it burns half of its fuel, and successfully got into orbit. Now, one of the things that you have to talk about, of course, is that when any of these spacecraft arrive, right now they're autonomous. That means that once they start their landing program, there is a complete breakdown. And that leads us to that time of blackout. That's right. When any of these space probes, by the way, if you don't know this, 50% of all the missions to Mars have failed in one way or another. But when that spacecraft begins its approach, and it becomes autonomous, because there's a 30-minute delay from the signals getting to and from Mars. So that, if anything goes wrong, they don't know about it for 30 minutes. So, as my friend here is it's a nail-biting time where they are waiting to find out whether or not the spacecraft has successful launch. Of course, right now we're going to have the Chinese lander coming in today, to this broadcast, and then next week Perseverance is going to land. So let's continue about that. So right now, of course, what we've said is that the Hope probe has successfully gone into orbit, and it will begin to adjust and fix its orbit and begin studies of the Martian atmosphere to discuss wind patterns, those wonderful rock storms that they have, sandstorms, whatever you want to call them. And that is one of the first programs by the United Emirates space program. So congratulations, guys. You did it. Okay? We have got so many programs coming in. All three missions are launched around the same time. You've got the Hope, of course, is the first one that's arrived. You've got, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced this, Tianwen-1 is expected to arrive February the 10th, which is today, and Perseverance is next week. That's exciting news. Of course, the Chinese program, same thing will happen. Everything is programmed in. Once it begins its descent into the Mars atmosphere, and begins its burn and begins its landing program, they won't know for half an hour afterwards whether or not it was successful, and hopefully I'll be reporting that it was successful. I'm hoping it will. That's a picture of the spacecraft when it lands, the rover. Let me show you one more. And of course, like I said, the last thing that's going to be happening is on February the 18th, Perseverance will make its descent. And again, the same thing, we're going to have that nail-biting thing where it will come through the atmosphere, the parachutes will deploy, and then the lander will be lowered by cables down to the air, onto the planet. So that's it for now for space news. Maybe I'll do a follow-up. We hear about how the Chinese lander, if it successfully landed on Mars. That'll be another exciting thing. So please, again, like, share, subscribe to the channel. This is Casey from Casey Grandpa Tech out. Until next time.